This news update is brought to you by...
Hi, I'm Red Plastic Bag. Anyone who knows me knows I don't like cold. Sunshine reigns in my country. I love it.
Yes, your sun power.
This is the Noon Barbados Today update for Tuesday, April 8, 2014. I'm Kamar Jordan. Good afternoon. The Barbados Private Sector Association says it's standing shoulder to shoulder with the Minister of International Business, Gov't, as he challenges moves by St. Lucia to impose a 70% hike in duties on certain products from more developed CARICOM countries. The move is already causing fallout for the local brewery, Banks Holdings Limited, which says the tax effectively puts the beer and tiger malt products out of the reach of the average consumer. The president of the Private Sector Association, Alex MacDonald, told journalists this morning he's alarmed by the move, as he called for a level playing field. He says while the negotiations get underway to settle the matter, Barbadians should focus on buying their own.
My view is a very simple one. I understand that commerce must be done, and we encourage everybody who does that. But there does come a time when you have to say, you know, let us support our own even more. I don't think that our private sector association is one for counter tariffs and counter this. I think that our positive way is let us support our own even more.
It's time for the government to put its money where its mouth is in terms of dealing with the problem of domestic violence. The National Organization of Women is telling the government to slash its funding for the constituency councils and to redirect the monies to the battered women's shelter. Now President Marlene Rice-Bowen tells Barbados Today the government's subvention to the shelter has been cut by 10%. But in light of the recent increase in deaths related to domestic violence, a total of 6 in 2013 and 2 so far this year, she deems this to be a worrying move. She suggests that the stipend paid to councillors at the 30 constituency councils would be better spent on shelter.
When a survivor approaches the shelter, the personnel at the shelter cannot tell that survivor that we've run out of funding. We can't take you and your children. Or if they have to respond to a crisis, at times they do have to respond to crises. You can't just take the decision not to respond because the funding and all expired. So we feel that, and I strongly support the view that what we can do would be to slash the budget of the constituency councils. That is, discontinue stipends. If you are serving your community as a councillor on the constituency council, give back to society. The savings from that slash can then be applied to the shelter's budget.
Rice-Bowen's comments came last night during the 51st annual general meeting of the Sir Optimus International Barbados at the Accra Beach Resort. Transport Minister Michael Lashley says commuters can look forward to better service from the Transport Board. He acknowledges recent complaints about slow or in some cases reduced services on a range of routes. But Lashley says the situation is returning to some normalcy following moves to settle problems at the United Commercial Auto Works Limited. He also revealed that the government will look at a proposal to acquire more buses.
I'm also confident that the bus availability is back up. I've been informed that UCAL is back on the job and that buses are going up. All service providers told me that they're actually sending up 7 also buses per day. So we constantly have issues of people not having the bus at a particular time, but that is no excuse. Of course, we have to work and get the buses back to the level that we want them to be. But we also have a proposal to purchase new buses.
Meantime, Parliamentary Representative for St. Thomas, Cynthia Ford, is condemning the deplorable state of housing in rural Barbados, and she's calling on the government to give full account of the recovery efforts following the passage of Hurricane Thomas in 2010. She says to date there are still many houses without roofs. She was speaking during the land acquisition debate in Parliament today.
From Tropical Storm Thomas, when a new government in 2010 was able to use $17 million Barbados dollars from the catastrophe fund to be able to rehabilitate homes. There are families in St. Joseph who are living in one little room they're thatched up. Still no help from the Ministry of Housing, particularly the Rural Development Commission. Those are the issues. I have houses in St. Thomas. Every time you pass, well, you cannot miss out the house with the roof off. The rest of the house was good. It lost the roof. The family didn't have it. So I'm saying we need to focus on helping everybody.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
Hi, I'm Red Plastic Bag. Anyone who knows me knows I don't like cold. Sunshine reigns in my country. I love it.
Get your sun power.
To regional news now. In Trinidad and Tobago, the parents of a teenage girl have been charged with sexually assaulting their daughter over a 4-year period. 41-year-old Leroy Pascal and his 43-year-old wife, Anne-Marie, are jointly accused of having sexual intercourse with the girl during January 2010 and February of this year. The mother is facing an additional charge that she committed an act of grievous sexual assault against the teen last Christmas Eve. The teenager charges she was raped by the couple and her mother used sex toys to perform sexual acts on her. The couple is due to reappear in court on May 5. They've been instructed not to communicate with their daughter and to stay at least 100 meters away from her. To international news now. At least 13 civilians were killed in a roadside bomb in southern Afghanistan 2 days after a presidential election. A spokesman for the Kandahar governor said foreign troops have blocked the main road after a separate car bomb explosion earlier, prompting the van to use a dirt road where the homemade bomb was planted. The blast came after a relatively calm weekend in which no major attacks were reported, as Afghans voted for a new president and provincial councils. And that's been our noon update. Join us again at 6 o'clock this evening. Until then, log on to www.barbadostoday.bb, subscribe to our e-paper, or better yet, like us on Facebook to get more news and sports. I'm Kmar Jordan. Have a great afternoon, and we'll see you again at 6 o'clock.
Hi, I'm Red Plastic Bag. Anyone who knows me knows I don't like cold. Sunshine reigns in my country. I love it.
Get your sun power.